Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some really big drama coming out over here when it comes to Starfield, Xbox, and well, everything else in between. Now, in case you guys are curious on the usual big video or title, whatever, do not mind me. I'm going to try to give you guys both sides on this one, but I think right now the initial take is people are pretty upset about the initial lie, and well, obviously people are responding about it. Now, I'm going to give you guys the preemptive, I think Xbox is dope, I think PlayStation is dope, I'm a fan of them both, and of course, as well, when it comes to this Xbox drama, might be a little bit on the overdone side, but typically on the stupid YouTube stuff, the clicker, the big clickbait and stuff like that, it's usually a little bit better, but it still is a big drama, and people are calling this one out, and of course, I want to hear your takes down below. As always, just be respectful and all this type of stuff, and make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on. We'll probably hang out on Twitch and Twitter down below if you guys want to follow up on either side, and let's dive into the video itself. So this is not super on the crazy clickbait side, because people are very upset right now when it comes to the Starfield devs for lying. Now, we're gonna do a bit of a deeper dive into this one because I don't always like the black and white. When it comes to these concepts in videos and tweets and Reddit posts, there's always a little bit of black and always a little bit of white. So I'm gonna try to cover them both as well, always a preemptive. But there's been a really big post over here, and this is where people are calling the stuff on out over here from Pete Hines. And this has been making its way around the internet, the Twitterverse and everything, where we have this one person called Jeff Threat stating, "Hey yo, Bethesda, DC Decon, and Starfield game, when I land on a planet, will I just be able to go and explore the entire planet?" Like a very simple question over here from August 21st, a little bit right before the reviews, and people were curious, and obviously you want to see how the game is. There's a lot of other games out there such as No Man's Sky, or even Star Citizen, and many other various bigger games out there where you can kind of explore the entire planet. It may not be the most intensive, or maybe even procedurally generated, or whatever it might be, but you could still land on a planet, and you could still in theory go do a full-on circle. Like if you went on a straight line running for quite some time, you'll be able to do a full-on loop around the planet and end up back at your spaceship or your landing point or whatever it might be, and it might still be randomly processed, but it would still be able for you to go around the entire planet all at once. And the response over here, which is getting a lot of attention, a lot of people calling it out, is from Pete Hines saying, "Yep, if you want, you can just go walk on the entire planet. You can do whatever you want over here in Starfield. It's all A-okay." With their responding saying, "Awesome, thank you for confirming this one too as well." And even now, I want you guys to take knowledge on that J guy's comment saying, "Do you really want to explore an entire planet on foot? It's already been confirmed you can land anywhere on a planet and you can explore on foot." And this is actually where the lie comes in. Now, I don't want you guys to be harping too much on the lie. I think it's just more of kind of giving them an easy, that's basically what it is type vibe, if that makes sense. It's not a 100% truth, but it's also not a 100% lie. But that's where people are harping on this and getting really upset on the Starfield drama, because in theory, you actually cannot go and just leave the entire planet, and you cannot explore the entire planet, and as of right now, it is confirmed, at least based on that wording, you are, in theory, not. That's a lie. In theory, it's actually a lie. But it's one of those lies, like I said, where the lie makes sense, which I don't want you guys to be too harped on the Starfield stuff, but I want to hear your thoughts down below. Because apparently not all from the initial reviews and everything else is saying you would basically have 3 to 5 landing spots that are POIs, which to be honest with you, I have no idea what POI even is. And then you have 3 to 5 landing spots where you can land anywhere. And once that limit is reached, you just land somewhere else, and it basically rewrites and deletes your oldest spot. And you can land and go anywhere and then explore the whole planet. And this is where some people are getting conflicted, because some people are also saying, at least in regards to the early reviews, that it's more of a little small linear area that's not fully an entire planet per se, but more of its own little designed area that's meant to be explored and be able to go and explore as much as you want, and you basically are changing landing spots. It's just one of those things where it almost seems like semantics kind of discussing back and forth, where in theory it's still there, but also in theory it's not there, depending on how you kind of look at it. Hopefully that makes sense kind of well. And even people are like, yeah, so only 3 to 5 landing spots is not a go anywhere. You can't physically explore the entire planet. Things are changing. Things are not consistent. And as well, they also say it's fine in and of itself, but it's not how it was sold and how these comments were mentioned. I was going to say it's still probably going to be a great the BGS games usually are. So people, I think, are okay with this. I understand the idea that it has to be somewhat maybe procedurally generated / at the same time, it can't be a full-on actual live-in planet that you can fully explore 24/7 all the time. But as well, this still seems like it's fine. In terms of gameplay flow, it seems all right. But people are like, is there even a reason to land on these land anywhere spots outside of these? I'm assuming point of interest for the POIs, and say you could explore different biomes, survey for different loot and resources. Some planets are just wastelands. Some have a variety of different biomes to go get different type of resources and set up your bases and do all this type of stuff, which actually makes a lot of sense too as well. And some folks are also saying and kind of making fun of this counterpoint, where they're like, hey, somehow people are upset you can't just walk in a straight line to go do a full-on circle. And I think I understand why. It does seem like they did market it differently, and some folks are kind of upset about that because it is a standardization, I think, for some games, like a Star Citizen or like a No Man's Sky, where you basically want to be able to explore almost anywhere and get back to your ship and stuff like that. That's kind of like the, I think, standard that people are kind of somewhat used to. But on the reverse side, I think it's kind of dumb and also may just be wasting a lot of different types of resources. We don't need to be having an entire planet always being loaded or having like 15 different planets perpetually always being loaded in the background because it just is probably not really worth it at the end of the day. Like I'd rather have a fine-tuned experience or have like 3 or 4 different areas that I can maintainly explore and know there's actual content in it. Same with mobs or bases or fights or materials or loot or whatever it might be. I think I'm okay with the idea behind this to kind of just streamline the game and make it a little bit less open world and more maybe of a streamlined segment too as well. Now, people are kind of saying that's kind of what they expected. Some people are saying it might be actually concerned though too as well because there is things that people don't know. Like they're saying like is going to permanently delete a visited area. What if you want like really like that area and you wanted to come back to it? Like so there's resources or something else like that you forgot about maybe 20 hours into the game because it's meant to be a longer game and no one knows. Like people are curious. They want to know exactly how because we're kind of getting some comments over here from this and some other ones. And also some people, of course, are always going to throw in the console back and forth where they're also saying that even in Spider-Man, it only takes you a few seconds of travel, although somewhat glitched over here for momentum, to get to different boundaries in a map with 99% of buildings you can't enter, which is kind of a good point. And saying that like the Starfield boundary controversy is stupid. And I'm kind of in the same boat too as well. And they're not trying to go bash Spider-Man. I'm not trying to do it myself. But it does make sense because this is a full-on game that's individualized into this one big segment. Although don't forget, too, the idea in core of Starfield is more on the exploration and a little bit of story, a little bit of RPG elements, and as well, just a different vibe, like more of a spacey type style game. Versus like a Spider-Man that's meant to be like New York City based and go from there. But people are bringing this up as a good example where like other games are fine and people aren't critiquing it, and maybe they're overly critiquing it because it is Starfield and it's under such a big media scrutiny where people don't really know what's going on and what everything else is going on with it. And I think it's fine. Like I really think my overall opinion, I think it's okay if Starfield isn't a full-on you could walk around an entire planet as long as the game areas are like well designed and every place you go to is nice and you don't like have to keep on replaying the same exact area with maybe different colors or slightly different mobs. At the end of the day, I'm cool with it as long as it's nice. But of course, other people keep on calling out other stuff such as for over here for Star Citizen. Where they say, hey, like for Star Citizen, as you're kind of going through the entire planet, there's not a single loading screen or invisible wall in sight, just freedom to completely roam around endlessly and explore an alien world. This is the kind of immersion I need in their space games. And like I said, this is somewhat of a standardization when it comes to space games overall, where you can basically just go around the entire planet. But my also counterpoint and why I think maybe the Starfield thing might be a little bit on the overblown side, and I still think Starfield itself will be a cool game, but they did technically get lied. Like the devs definitely did lie. Although I think it's okay. It's fine. I think I get what they mean. Or if you guys are listening to me when I'm saying, I get what they mean. But this also is kind of a barren wasteland. Like there's cool environments. There's cool like space. Like I love the idea of seeing all this like terrain that you can drive through and use like utilize your cars and kind of get immersed into the world and experience the world itself. It feels like I'm like playing a Star Wars game. But at the same time, there is also nothing in this. Like I'd rather have a bigger environment that has like mobs, things I can loot, quests, caves, dungeons, bosses, or whatever it might be, rather than just having a chance to skeet around an entire map. But once again, the standardization for a lot of these space games, like say a Star Citizen or No Man's Sky or whatever it might be, it really is like you want to have the game to be open. You want to be able to go and explore the entire planet. You want to physically be a space explorer, and that's what I think some people are expecting on. It's more so based on what people made comments on at the end of the day. And also same thing too as well, this is kind of where the drama kind of started, because this is where the map came over here. I think Bethesda should have made it clear before launch that you can't do one interrupted. This is where the big drama came out from up here. It's actually really weird that they never mentioned this until it got leaked from the initial comments we said, and I'm one of the people that's excited for Starfield. And once again, I don't think it's the biggest deal. I think as long as there's actual content there, as I've said a few times throughout this video, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. And I think sometimes people, for some odd reason, the Starfield game, people are getting a little bit too strung up on these small technicalities, and I think people are getting a little bit too strung up on what they're expecting an almost perfect game to be, instead of enjoying what Starfield is meant to be. But once again, we'll have the reviews coming out throughout these next few days, and we'll have a lot more early access gameplay too as well coming out soon, so I'll be very, very intrigued to see what happens. And this does look a little bit on the barren side, to not go and say anything bad about Starfield. I've been mainly protecting Starfield in this video, and as well, a lot of this does seem like procedurally generated with things popping up on the map, but it does seem really barren with nothing else in it. But at the same time, I'd rather have a game that's filled with small segments with actual gameplay than anything else. So I want to hear your thoughts because it's definitely a little bit of a polarizing subject right now in the gaming Twitterverse. And of course, as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room probably live up on Twitch right now if you guys are bored. And I just appreciate you guys all so much for being here as well. Love you guys.